You meant the world to me.
Never gonna give you up. I'm never gonna let you go. Never gonna say goodbye, no. Never gonna give you up. I'm never gonna let you go. Never gonna say goodbye, no. Never gonna give, never gonna give, never gonna give you up. Never gonna give, never gonna give. Never gonna give, never gonna give, never gonna give you up. Never gonna give, never gonna give. Never gonna say goodbye, no. Never gonna say goodbye, no. Never gonna give you up. I'm never gonna let you go. Never gonna say goodbye, no. Never gonna give you up. I'm never gonna let you go. Never gonna say goodbye, no. Never gonna give, never gonna give, never gonna give you up. Never gonna give, never gonna give. Never gonna give, never gonna give, never gonna give you up. Never gonna give, never gonna give. Never gonna give, never gonna give you up. Never gonna give, never gonna give, never gonna give you up. Never gonna give. Never gonna say goodbye, no. Never gonna say goodbye, no. Never gonna give, never gonna give, never gonna give you up. Gonna give, never gonna give. Never gonna give, never gonna give, never gonna give you up. Gonna give, never gonna give.
I wonder what went wrong today, eh? Why do I feel like I linger? Linger between the words to say, eh? To say the words to remember. Now we're here to take control over your body and over your soul. We're gonna take back everything and lose it all. Lose it all. Lose it all. Feel it in your arms. Feel it in your legs. Feel it on your fingertips and feel it in your head. Just let your body go. Just let your body go. Just let your body go and move to the rhythm.
Yeah.
until the very last hour. We still got few more days to slay. It's gonna get so much louder. Now we're here to take control over your body and over your soul. We're gonna take back everything and lose it all. Lose it all. Lose it all. Feel it in your arms, feel it in your legs, feel it on your fingertips and feel it in your head. Just let your body go, just let your body go, just let your body go and move to the rhythm.
What's going on, guys? 1 second. I'm gonna fix the live chat really quick, just so you guys will be able to see the chat. There we go. Let me go here. If you guys want to, while I'm doing this, which will take like 2 seconds, it'll give time for people to kind of catch up and join this from Discord and stuff like that. But if you want to, you can think of some tickers you want me to go over. I have one written down that somebody requested earlier, and it was UGAS. I will go over UGAS. In fact, I'll go ahead and pull it up, just so I don't forget. Okay, that's what I was gonna do. Alright, I need to minimize this. That's exactly what I need to do. Oh, I think that worked out perfectly. Oh, yeah, I think that worked out perfectly. Right on the dot. Sweet. Okay. Who is ready to break down some tickers? Some stock tickers. Let me make sure it's working. Yeah, it is. Sorry. It's funny hearing myself. Okay, so let's see. So one thing I want to do, I'm gonna write down you guys back and watch the video. You know, if you don't catch the live stream and you're watching the video after it is done from the live stream and it's posted on the channel, you can still watch it, I guess. So I'm just gonna kind of jump into things here. One thing I see with you guys is based on the 1 minute, it is at a very, very high price. Now, based on indicators, it kind of reset itself. Notice the indicators reset and fell back down when the price kept going up. Also notice that the RSI is catching on to the bearish pattern. It's for some weird reason, right? Rejecting the 65 area, and 60 area. You know, and I preach all the time that in past, I'm gonna start saying rant. My bad. I rant all the time on this specific topic with the RSI too. And patterns, it tends to, when it's bullish, it bounces on 40 right here. It'll bounce here most of the time when it's bullish. That's what tends to happen, right? Now, when it's bearish, it does the opposite and rejects from 60. So we go a lot more in depth with that in our Discord and with the elite team that we trade with in there. We absolutely killed it today. I did. Let's see, how much was my total percentage? I know one trade that we did in there was nice. It was a 41% trade. But at the very bottom and sold at the very peak, well, at a resistance. It did keep going up at the end of the day, but overall, I'm happy I sold. I got a 41% profit over my total investment, and it was a pretty large investment. So, in fact, I'll go ahead and show you really quick. And here, this is where we bought in for you in Discord. I mean, you guys saw the trade. It was a really nice trade, and congrats to everyone that has hopped onto that trade with me. It was very, very nice. But we bought in down here, right? I literally got in, I think it was 63 was my average. So believe it or not, I bought in right there. You can go back to my Discord and see where I called it out to and set my entry before all of this even happened. I bought in here due to past patterns. I identified that there was a support here, right? Support multiple times in this area right here that it did not want to break. Now, keep in mind, I have a swing put. So I did a call, even though I have a swing put. So I was successful in my day trading call. So I wanted it to go up. And I still am carrying my swing trade put because I don't really think it's going to, it's trying to catch that same support right now. I don't think it's going to really push up much further. So I have a pretty long expiration swing on this one at the moment. I've actually had it for a couple days now. But yeah, I end up selling here due to not its past like resistance. I mean, yes, it's a past resistance. I saw it here and I called it out perfectly. I saw it to be an average actually, because it busted above this, that's a resistance, and busted below this, that's a support area. I saw it to be actually in the middle of both of those, which is an average. So I'm going to sell it at average price. And a lot of times, sometimes it won't even touch average. So you want to be safe, but I didn't want to push it to the limits and try to sell it at a typical resistance up here, like where it typically rejects in this area, and bounced here. I didn't want to sell it there. I wanted to sell it at its average. So I sold it here. And it came back down a little bit here, and started continuing its push up. But it was a very nice, trade there on SPY. I like that. I just wanted to go over that real quick. I know I kind of got off topic there. So on you guys, I think that you guys is a bit overbought with the 1 minute. Of course, that's what I said earlier. But the way I day trade and my strategy, I'm sure everyone watching knows, but just in case you aren't a part of the team, then I want to let you know how we do it in moon trades. But our 1 minute is strictly our day trade chart, of course. So you want to rely on the 1 minute a lot of the times when it comes to like bad deal, good deal, overbought, oversold, and stuff like that. But then we have a 1 day to minute chart, which kind of looks just like the 1 minute, but it shows you a bit of a different scenario going here. See how the 2 minute never broke the EMA here and just kept pushing up? The 1 minute also did that, but in a way it broke the EMA. This would have scared a lot of people, but if you were to transition back and forth consistently, it's what I try to teach people to do, is transition back from the 1 minute to the 2 minute. Maybe sometimes approach the 5 minute, but mainly switch. There should be never a time that you're solely basing a trade on just the 1 minute chart and setting there just on the 1 minute chart. You should, now this is a very quick, just, buy here, sell EMA. I mean, maybe, but I'm talking if you got in on the whole trade, you don't want to just sit on one chart. This 2 minute looks a lot nicer when it comes down to, staying in its uptrend. So, I hope that's helped a few people there, because I know a lot of people that could use this, and a lot of people that have changed to start doing this. And I've literally could tell their trading has gotten like tremendously better, if that makes sense. So it's like, it has gotten like tremendously better when I started doing that and transitioning over. I'm going to go really quick to the 15 minute. Now the 15 minute is my overall day trade to, the overall day's like direction basically. So on the 1 minute, yes, you get your overall day's direction by it breaking higher highs and lower lows, etc. But the 15 minute is like looking at a 4 hour for a swing, in my opinion. I personally look at the 1 hour for a quick swing like to the next day, and then look at the 4 hour for its overall direction to make sure it's in its favor too. So if the 15 minute is used as my day trade 1 minute overall, then if the 15 minute is high and extremely overbought right here, then maybe I shouldn't focus on calls on the 1 minute, because it's extremely high, it's overbought. It typically resists this area here. This is a typical resistance. There we go. Now here you can see it wasn't that high on the 15 minute. So that on the 1 minute, when everything was set up for a good deal on the 1 minute, now that your overall is a good deal, on the 1 minute when it's a good deal, based on pre-market hours that's hinted to us when it pushes up, it tends to turn around in this area, It's oversold for a good deal, and then it had room to push, basically. I would base it on past patterns around this area here. It hit this area, so it's able to hit it again. And that's what happened. So I would have probably sold here just to play it safe, and then re-entered when I saw it didn't want to break lows, and it actually just kept ascending, but yet breaking highs. Sorry, I was trying to look at something over there. Okay, so let's go to the 1 hour real quick. Of course, it's also descending. It's a decaying ETF because it's the inverse of DGAS. I don't trade these too often, but I do every once in a while. You can't trade options with these, but I do like that they are a little more volatile here recently, especially because of the news that has happened. We're still getting some volatility from that. But you can see here that the typical resistance area is here. It typically resists this. So I will set a price target to around $12.76. And tomorrow's live stream will go over that too, to make sure, just to update and say, okay, there's an update on this, things changed, or there's an update on this, it's still going to the price target, in my opinion. Price target. All right, I do that just so I remember to announce it. All right, price target here. And then I'm going to name this as the resistance. It's always good to plan and organize your stuff, just because it helps when you go back to it. You don't have to think twice. You're like, okay, got it. There we go. Resistance, price target. Let's see. All right. Looking at the 4 hour, it does look like it's trying to overall reverse. Now on the 1 hour, it looked like it was decaying, right? Because of this big trend it had down. But this barely broke lows. This broke highs. You could expect a higher low. And because, you know, they play together. A higher high plays with a higher low. A lower high plays with a lower low. So when you get one, you should get the other. So if we get a higher high here, higher high, broke highs, we should expect this to be a higher low. Even though it's super close to this area, I could see how this would want to trend up. It almost makes me want to change my price target. Looking at this real quick, hang on, let's see. Here's the thing. This could be a quick day trade price target, but it might not maintain this price too long. I think what's going to happen here with you guys is it's probably going to come on down. Or over, let's just say over. It might be just a wick. And then I think it would start pushing up to its resistance one more time, and then go sideways a bit. And then it would break out. And usually when it grinds that resistance, it's usually when it breaks out. But if you get a peak and you get past patterns of it not wanting to break the resistance, you don't want to trade on breakouts. Basically, you want to put the odds in your favor. So looking at this could definitely happen here. So if it comes down, it's not an overall direction to start decaying and breaking lows. It could, but I don't think that will happen. I think this will actually start making a recovery, but it will come back down to around that 1277. That could be a good entry for a call on, well, sorry, just option trading. That could be a good entry for good shares there to buy on up. But technically speaking, you could, when this comes back down for the price target here, I was thinking of option trading, I do apologize, but you got an inverse of DGAS. So DGAS does the complete opposite as UGAS. So therefore, you know, it's technically the same thing. You could technically, it's not shorting the stock, you're just investing into the inverse, which is basically, you know, same. Yeah. Okay, you get it. But that could play out there. So I want to go to Amazon really quick. Who in the world saw Amazon? Like, holy crap. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Look, so I called this out, not the fall like that. I did call out this area here. So in the last live stream, we were talking about last night's live stream. We were talking about we wanted the price to be up here eventually was the price target, and then the desired buy would be here. Now, I saw this descending resistance right here. I believe I pointed it out in last night's live stream. There's a descending resistance. It pushed up today, and I repeated it like 5 times that I wanted to buy a put on, which meaning I wanted it to go down on Amazon. I was not expecting this. I would have sold around this area, but this actually happened severely fast. I cannot believe it really broke through that much. The earnings was not good. And I think that actually influenced SPY to go down too a little bit, because I think it carries about 2.85% of inside of SPY. I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So look at this fall though. It happened towards the market close though. Yeah, and you can't trade Amazon 15 minutes after, I don't believe. I believe that's only an SPY thing. Yeah, so it took a freaking plummet. So I couldn't imagine like being in some putts up here and waking up the next day. I'm going to hope for the best for people that are in putts to make money, for it to open us low, give them a chance to sell, and then push back up if it does push back up. I'm sure, I mean, it's Amazon. I'm sure it will end up pushing back up eventually, sooner or later. But it might not tomorrow. Look at this. The 1 year hasn't even registered what happened. But it fell to like 1625, I think. That's what it said. So it fell. This chart can't even read it right here. I have to zoom out. 16. It fell in this area here. This is absolutely insane. It fell right back in this area here. So I would expect it to push back up here. So what we're going to do, so we can keep track of this and tomorrow's live stream and the next day's live stream, because I want to be able to keep track of it. I think my new price target will be the 1700 area, and then my new buy. And let me zoom out. My new desired buy, or as in I might not, but it's somewhere down here, and I think it will make its way back up. There we go. Okay, so now that we finished the Amazon look over there, I cannot believe that. That's just absolutely insane. That's for Amazon, guys. That's really crazy, because I'm sure or something. But yeah. So let's see here. I'm gonna go to Microsoft real quick. I saw that yesterday's live stream, or last night's live stream, we also said Microsoft could push back up today after it falls down just a little bit. Look at this. It pushed today, which was pretty sweet. But at the same time, it looks a little bullish, but it is. Do you guys see the ascending channel that it's on? So check this channel out here. There's literally an ascending channel where there's just a solid resistance almost every single time and a solid support. Let me delete my coefficients here. So check that out. It's in this channel. When it touches this channel, it could be a good call. Up here, sell, good put. Down here, sell or buy. Sell for your profit. Buy, sell. And then on down, up. Literally every single time it touches resistance, it touches support. Resistance, support. Resistance, it might nudge down and then bounce back up and touch the resistance again, and then it might come right back down to its support. It's just so consistent. I mean, there has to be a break eventually, so keep that in mind. Oh, I think the stream is saying it's all fine right now. Hang on, let me make sure. Let me make sure everything's okay on my end over here. It's like spazzing out right now. I don't know why. Are you guys, can somebody comment if you're watching, if it is on right now? I just don't know if it's like airing or if it's, are we live or is it like, because it could be just my phone's messed up or something. I don't know why it would be, but because it's saying it's live, but it's like my YouTube is like glitching like crazy. Let me close out my Discord really quick. Let me go in here and knock this down a bit. Okay, let me see how that works. Okay, is it back live? I think it's live now. Okay, we had a little bit of issues there. I think it's live. Let me see if I can hear myself. Yes, I can. So, sweet. I'm not going to stay live too long, though. I started at 9 o'clock. I plan to end at least at 9:30, so we got about 10 more minutes. If you would like me to break down a ticker, just please comment the ticker in the comment section, and I'll see it on my other monitor over here, and we can go over that. Microsoft, we went over you guys for the request that we had on you guys. I believe it was this morning. We went over SPY, AMD. AMD, we definitely want to look at real quick. Okay, Okay, so AMD's trying to push right now. I don't know if you guys saw the, again, look at the 4 hour really quick. Typically in this area, it tends to be a good deal for puts. Now that doesn't mean, I mean, of course, there has to be a break eventually. I mean, look, it did go below it here quite a while before it popped back in it. That can easily happen again. It has been trading above its EMA for quite a long time now. So it is kind of due to change its trend. It's been in this uptrend for quite a while. It's around that time. But let's go to the 1 minute real quick. There we go. So we thought it got really volatile, right? Like it was squeezing out of this. We were watching this actually. Sorry for the green box there. It pushed down. We thought this was a volatile move, right? Like I remember seeing this happen. We were like, oh my gosh, because we witnessed it like hold the support here. We didn't know if it was going to break out below or above. It ends up breaking out up here. I called it that it was going to come right back down. It came right back down, came in here, and then just started pushing. Like what? Look at that push. That's awesome. It's absolutely awesome, but I don't think it's going to last too long. I just don't. I mean, it could come up a little more, but if you have a swing trade put, it's going to overall probably end up lower, at least even, you know, for an opportunity to sell for a small profit. Okay, yeah, so now what I am expecting from Amazon would be, you know, yeah, it's high. It needs to come back down. I'd say around that, let me get the price level. I'd say around that 30.95 area, just due to it being overbought and overextended. It does need to come back down a little more. And RSI does have a pattern of every time it pushes up, it tends to start kind of consolidating just a bit and then pushing back down. It happens quite a bit with the RSI here. You can spot out and see patterns clearly when it comes to the RSI. That's why one reason I look at it. A lot of times I literally just use price action itself. So if I go from AMD, I can go over to, there was one I was wanting to look at earlier. Oh, Tesla looked insane. Look at Tesla. Today, Tesla released earnings and surprised a lot of people and scared out a lot of the shorts, causing it to rip up like this right here. Because in order to buy back your position, like when you short a position, you're borrowing the money, right? In order to cover your position, you got to buy back in. So when shorts want to leave, they're buying in the stock. And then when bulls want to buy in because they think it's a good deal, because, you know, bears are thinking it's a bad deal, that's why they're leaving. So bulls are probably going to think it's a good deal. So when they do that, bulls are buying in and bears are covering their positions by buying back in to leave their short positions, causing it to only have buyers, which causes it to push up really, really far and have this very nice rip here. This, I didn't get in on this. I wasn't playing it on earnings. In fact, it really surprised me, and I'm glad I wasn't trying to put it or something. I'm a big fan of Tesla. You know, honestly, I'm not a bear on Tesla. I'm a big fan of it. Elon Musk is definitely a cool dude. So let's go from Tesla. Let's check out Facebook real quick. Facebook kind of carries similar patterns to Microsoft, but you can see every time it hits this support here that I identified as support and resistance area here. But every time it hits support, it tends to go up to its resistance, comes right back down to its support, and back up to its resistance. So in my opinion with Facebook, I think that Facebook would be heading back down to this area. But at the same time, you gotta be careful. Look, earnings is coming up. This can surprise a lot of people because it's kind of hard to see down there too. You can set alerts. I believe you can actually just go down here and you can create an alert, if I'm not mistaken. And instead of price action, you would do calendar event. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, earnings. So you could do earnings for Facebook. Time of event, you could do 15 minutes before the event happens so that you know it's going to happen, right? No trading. Gamble. Because you don't know. And then you could do the earnings, the quarter three, whatever all this junk is. Create it. There you go. So that's how you can create an alert for earnings right there. I wouldn't trade on earnings. It's like gambling. But in my opinion, if these earnings don't affect it that much, it's going to touch the support one more time. before it pushes back up or before it tries to push back up. I'm looking at the overall direction though. It is slightly ascending, but it's super shaky. It's super, I'd almost consider it sideways. This could end right back up down here at 162. I'd be surprised if it went that low, but it's definitely a possibility. We'll see about that. We'll have to check back up on it. But as of right now, price target of 179 is reasonable. If we go from Facebook and we go over to Apple, Apple's an absolute beast. Apple has been absolutely ripping. Gosh. Okay, Apple's earnings comes up very shortly too. I don't know if you guys see the earnings on here. It's the 30th. I would expect Apple's earnings to be decent. It would probably be pretty good, but I don't play on earnings, so I would watch out for that. But as if right now, overall direction on the 4-hour is up, so calls will be in your favor if you're an options trader. And in my opinion, let me go to the 15-minute real quick. It is really high on price. Now we are in this slight like ascending channel here, but one thing that I do not like that I see though is how it is weakening. It looks like it's weakening. I'll show you why. Hang on 1 second. Take out these correlations, coefficients. Okay, so every time it hits around the bottom channel, it tends to go to the top. It's hard to know when it's going to go to the bottom right, because some people would probably try to buy puts here for it to go back to its support. And the good thing about this buying like 4-day and above expirations is if it didn't come back down to its support like you were thinking, because a lot of people think it happens right away. It would push up, you'd be down, and then it would push right back down, cutting a little bit of a profit here in this area. So you can always have time to break even or to, as long as you're focusing on a high, like price is obviously really high. But one reason I'm saying it's weakening is because look, 100% push, it made its way on up and it fell back down. But it didn't fall, like this is where it bounced at, right? It bounced here, but it pushed from down here. So that is that's a decent sized gap there. What I'm saying is it pushed 100%. Let me clear my drawing. So, okay, it pushed 100% here and fell only about 60 to 70%, if that, maybe 50% of the push that it had going up. So what that tells you is that it's still growing. Now look what we did here though. We got a consolidation trend here. I look at this as a contraction zone. If you guys don't know the business cycle, it's just the business insights and things. You'd have to do some info research on that or whatnot. You can come over to my Discord. I have it in there. So this is my average price here, right? So it started pushing here, 100% fall. We haven't gotten a 100% push and 100% fall on Apple yet. And we actually had the complete opposite. Look at this, 100% fall, 100% push. So it allowed it to keep going up. This 100% push here and falling 100% of its push kind of shows a peak formation. It almost shows a signal of a reversal, like an indication of reversal. It doesn't mean it will, but it does indicate that, hey, it's getting a little high. People aren't really accepting it here. Now, I'm not saying to go put Apple, because Apple is a beast. You don't want to put Apple. I would just wait for it to come back down a little bit before, because it is so high right now. It is like, it's unreal. Like seeing this trend, it's just crazy. But it is due for a pullback. I just went and played those pullback. I would wait for the pullbacks to happen and then buy calls for it to retest. That's personally my opinion, because overall direction, you kind of, it could reverse on you if you're in a put. So from Apple, let's go on over to, let's see here. If you'd like me to go over a ticker, just please post it in the comment section for anyone that is watching. But I think I posted my predictions or my desired buys and exits in my Discord earlier. I don't know if you guys saw the updates for the swings. But SPY overall, let's see, right here. This was kind of like the time frame I had, but it might end up being a little bit further. But overall, I wanted to focus on like a 30-day expiration, and I bought some puts on down. I don't think overall the whole entire market is bearish. No, I think it needs to pull back down. It also has an ascending support here. So based on past patterns, don't expect it to break the support. When it gets to this support area, look at my crosshairs. It meets up perfectly. So comes down to a support here, structural resistance, resistance, and acted as multiple supports. Ascending support. So I'm gonna take my guess on, it might come back to its structural, meaning flat, support and resistance, and then it's ascending support also that it has. So that would be around this area here, and I can always come back to this video if that happens, just to show exactly what happened. I'm thinking about putting the date in this. I'll put the date in this right here. I'll put 10/24/19, just so we can I can tell you guys what date I live stream, so we can go back and look at it if it does happen. Yeah. Man, that 41% profit today was nice. I killed the trading day once again. It was pretty fun. Let's see, SPY. There was another one I was wanting to look at on the live stream. I wrote down you guys. I was thinking about going over. See, what's Coca-Cola look like right now? Overall ascending trend here. It pushed up 100%, broke previous highs. So you could have expected this push to happen, because where there's higher highs, there are higher lows. They play together. So when you get a break above the high, expect the higher low. Don't expect it to come right back down. That's trying to predict the reversal. Let it happen first. But in this case, expect the higher low. If something doesn't break highs, then expect a lower low. So in this case, it pushed up here 100%, fell 100%, pushed up for the good deal. You could have put it here, fell back down. Went up to retest one more time because it was like, okay, we'll give it another try. Still couldn't break, so that caused it to really push down. And then it did this 100% recovery. It didn't like that price. Waited for the good deal after this 100% fall, 100% push, knowing that, okay, it's not wanting to trade lower than this area, because why would 100% of the sellers be recovered by all these, green candles here? Completely recovered right back where it started from. So it's a bottomed out indication, basically, on price action. And then, you would wait for that good deal, pulled back for the good deal, and started pushing. Oh, it was work. Let's go to work. I gotta look at this real quick. So overall, of course, a descending trend. I definitely agree. This is not something you should get in a habit of. Usually descending trends, you want to wait for it to push high. The higher it is on a descending trend, the better your puts will be long term. But in this case, I actually think that this could be a good call. It would be you would want to buy like a 16-day expiration, probably, just in case. And don't panic until eventually it should push back up. It's below its average, basically. I think it's definitely due to push back up. I saw it earlier, and I was like, I set an alert for it to break lows. I was like, I won't buy until it hits like a low area. And I was so tempted. I had to hold myself back from buying calls right here in this area. I didn't, because I figured it might end up lower tomorrow, but it might just form a wick. But it's still a good opportunity I might be able to snatch up. PayPal after earnings absolutely ripped from $95 all the way up to $106. They started plummeting here. Me and a buddy of mine actually bought puts here and ended up selling here, but it continued to plummet. And as expected, I sold at like 101.35, but still at the same time, I had a feeling it was going to come back down to here due to it breaking lows. Where there's lower highs, there's lower lows. So if this is a lower high, then it's probably going to be a lower low. I wouldn't expect this earnings to really do PayPal much justice. I wouldn't think that just because it had this big push, it's going to continue to go up, because in most cases, it's probably not. It's probably going to come back down. In my opinion, I have a price target of 101.60. Is where I'll set this price target here. $19.5 PT. Oh, let me put, if it gives me enough room, puts. There we go. Oh, it actually gave me enough room. That's awesome. Perfect. There we go. So price target there for puts. So for it to come back down, I think, you know, it might be an overall, like, it's not just going to happen in one day. Don't expect that. But it definitely could happen sooner or later. Let's see. I would give it an estimated time frame of about a week and a half to 2 weeks at least. It could be a little earlier. It could be just a little bit after. But that's on average, looking at past patterns. And then looking at, I think it was Shopify. We were wanting Shopify, or I was wanting Shopify to show, you know, itself. I think I talked about it in the, not last night's live stream, but the night before that. I wanted it to, you know, this is my price target for it. I don't want it to fall, don't get me wrong, but I mean, this is my price target due to its patterns. It made a lower low here. I would expect a lower high from that. So when it got high here, I don't know why that wouldn't be a good put, knowing it made a lower low. It came back down. If it holds this area, if it comes back down, bounces back up and breaks this descending resistance and actually maintains it for a week, then the price target will no longer be down here. I'll actually increase it way up here for calls instead of puts. I'm not in on this. I would never put Shopify unless it was a day trade, just because the overall direction, or unless it was just extremely high like this and I knew it wasn't a good deal. Okay, so what I am going to look for now is why is it not typing? Okay, what the crap? Okay, sorry, what in the world? Okay, I don't know. It just stopped typing. Okay, that was weird. So we'll go back to SPY from here then. There we go. Learn that manual way. Perfect. It's fine by me. Looks like it's trying to push on up here. It's trying to hold that support gapped on up in this area. It closed. Where did it close again? It closed pretty high. We closed in this area here, I believe. Technically, we closed right there. So what I would look for in this coming up tomorrow, really quick, one more time before I end the live stream. I should have ended it a little bit ago. Is, you know, it might push back up where we closed, not unless it wants to have a gap down. I would prefer it to push back up, actually. If it could push back up here, it could start falling. If it wanted to, when it opens, it could start coming back down. Or we can get just a massive gap down. It could end up gapping all the way down to here. We do have a big gap up. You can see it on the 1 year. Sorry about all the charts and drawings. But you can see the massive gap up we have here, and gaps tend to fill on SPY eventually, every single time they happen. So yeah, I would expect it to at least come back down to 297, that 297 area, 297.50, maybe 298 to play it safe. Yeah, so today's trade was amazing. We absolutely killed it in the market today. It was absolutely fun. I appreciate everyone that was in the voice chat today. You guys were awesome. You guys made my day, honestly, really fun, cracking me up. But if you guys, you know, just tuned into this video or watching it while it's not live, we have a Discord group, a team that we trade with. We tend to just mess around in there and, you know, just absolutely grow our accounts to the fullest potential that we can. If you found value inside of my breakdowns and my trades, let me just say one thing. Join the Discord before anything. I mean, at least look at my call outs that I make in Discord before you make your decision whether or not you would like to be a part of my team. I think that you guys would have a lot of fun and find it valuable in my Discord team, just because like my whole entire team has seen major improvements on their accounts. And, yeah, I'll see you guys around there. And thank you guys for tuning into the video. Please leave that like if you found it valuable, and I will see you guys tomorrow night.